The bosses say come in early, stay late, work hard, or don't bother coming at all. But what happens when the new norm is to work from home? Hello everyone, welcome to today's conversation on Women Talk. I'm Deborah.
And my name is Vadillo. And the COVID-19 pandemic really forced us into the world's largest experiment of working from home. And we've been somewhat successful. So that's what today's topic is going to be about, working from home and the way forward. So Deborah, how was your lockdown experience?
I mean, so for the sort of work I do, which is, partly here like this in front of the television, a lot of live events, well, that all just died, right? And so that dried up for quite a long time. But I also run a school. So that was interesting because we had to go fully online, Google Classrooms, train everyone. Not all things, let's just say not all things work very well from home, but it's a balance, it's a trade-off.
Amazing how tech-savvy we've gotten over the last 2 years, just having to be online on things like Zoom, Google Meets, which I'd never heard of before the pandemic, and now suddenly we're using them every single day. So before we get more into our topic, let's introduce our two guests.
Yeah, we're really happy to have two lovely ladies with us today. We have Puan Mahuran. She is TalentCorp's Vice President, Group Research, Development and Policy, and also a Malaysian professional talent.
And we have Zarina Ismail. Thank you for joining us. President of the Malaysian Human Resource Association, PUSMA. So hello to both of you and welcome to Women Talk, here to speak a bit about working from home. How were your experiences, Zarina?
Okay, thank you so much for inviting me.
It's our
pleasure. When pandemic time, I think it's a new things for everyone. It's a wake-up call actually for everyone that we have to prepare our mental and physical.
Definitely.
Of course. That time we, all of us in other country also, we start for vaccine, right? So I have to monitor my staff from home that they are working to vaccine center as a volunteer, nurses, doctor, and volunteer. So that time I get a COVID. So I have to be at home, monitor them, work, everything. That's my experience. But it's a good thing also because this is not the first time I'm being in virtual, because we're sending workers to abroad, and probably we have a meeting with other country at night. So
so you have to manage the time zones and
And what about yourself?
Right. Okay, I'm happy to be here. Okay, to share about the working from home experience. Before the COVID-19, actually, our company have a policy flexible arrangement. So I'm used to work in the flexibility things. Okay?
Oh, wonderful!
But during the COVID, is the difference because there are 5 adults at home. Okay, so as a working mother, I have to prepare their breakfast, their lunch, so it's another extra work for me, okay? And even at one point, I forgot to prepare their lunch, and the father said, "Oh, I think your mommy forgot." So better we order the Grabs. So overall, I would say that I like it, okay? And of course, we need to come up with a very constructive, I would say, a policy to help the talent and also to the company how we can implement the work from home successfully.
Yeah, well, I think because when it first started, let's just be honest, everything was new for everyone, right? And initially it starts off being like a lot of fun. Oh, we get to stay home. We don't have to sit in the traffic for 3 hours every day.
All day.
Pajamas. You can we're all wearing bottoms down here, but everyone is in like a shirt on the top, but boxes down below. And then you realize, is my home able to cope with this, with the capacity? Like you mentioned, you've got kids who have to go to school. You've got to make sure everyone has a laptop. You have to
make sure the Wi-Fi is always working so that we're entertained.
Yeah.
And I think for you and me, for example, we don't have kids, so it was pretty pleasant for us to be at home. But I know many of my friends who are working mums who are like, oh my goodness, I can't wait for school to start again to put my kids there. I love them, but I've had enough.
Yeah.
So we're quite lucky. But I think the experience for everyone has been quite different.
But what were like some of the pros and cons that you guys experienced, and not just from your company's perspectives, but just generally in the country?
Okay, of course we have a pro and con. The pro is time management, and then working hours in the traffic. And then we can save everything. I mean, it's like oil, petrol, everything's right. Expenses also. But the con is when you must be disciplined, more disciplined at home, because that time is your working hours. So you must be disciplined, and some of them, they have kids at home, so they have to really focus on their work, but at the same time they have to think about the children's all. So time management is very important for them. Discipline, focus. That's a very main things that they have to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not as straightforward. And while some people thrive in it, other people maybe are not as productive as you want them to be. So you have to find that balance, right?
Yes.
And Mahuran, did you feel, I mean, and as TalentCorp, as you mentioned earlier, you lead the changes when it comes to changing working hours, flexible working hours. But not all companies, big or small, have the capacity or the right mindset.
Yeah.
How do you see this moving forward?
Okay. TC actually advocate the FWA since 2015, and during that time the takers is mostly MNC, as the big companies. Okay, and during pandemic, all the companies are forced, to work from homes. Okay, so you can see that is during the pandemic, and after pandemic, the companies have to adjust. Okay, rethink what is the good workplace. This is to attract the talent and also to retain the talent, and that's why in 2021 we worked together with the UNDP in Malaysia. Okay, to conduct a study. The study stated as making flexible work. Okay, from that study, we found out 68% employees say that they are more productive during the MCO. 68%. 73% employees said that their work-life balance improved. So it's a quality of life. So it's a positive, right? And 66% employees plan to adopt to increase the work from homes policy in their in the companies, so that they want to make sure that to attract the talent. So you can see, I would say that it's a very good, approach. And good that we should looking into the needs of the talent, so that the companies can retain them.
And this is interesting. You say this point, because I was reading this statistic. There was another study done not too long ago, and Malaysia actually didn't do too well in the ranking. We ranked as, I think, one of the third most overworked country, or something, where people feel that way. And it was based on, they looked at various different factors across the board, right?
So a lot of people must be happy that they can work from home, and we're finding this work-life balance a bit easier now.
Yeah, we're shifting, right? And that's the point. It's not easy. There will be challenges along the way, but we're moving the needle. We're slowly heading towards the right direction.
So, I agree with the studies, the findings. Because even in our engagement with the employers, because we are trying to help the employers, how to implement the FWA and work from home.
We'll come back.
All right. Okay. I'm so excited.
I love this topic.
And we'll continue speaking about this. We'll see you after the break.
Everyone, welcome back to Women Talk. So just before we went to break, we were actually talking about some of the challenges that companies were facing, and maybe I'll just chime in here. I'm not sure if many of our viewers at home actually realize that we had a recent amendment in our laws that actually reduced working hours from 48 hours to 45 hours a week. So the laws are moving ahead to encourage more flexible working hours, a more balanced work life, I guess. But there are other parts that are not changing, like we still have the hustle culture mentality very much entrenched in people. And a lot of times, I think it's a mental shift that needs to take place, right?
So in terms of the challenges that you mentioned just now, okay, based on our engagement with the companies, I can categorize, there are 3 types, you know, the challenges, okay? I divide into people, process and technology. Okay. So in terms of the people, based on our engagement, about 65% have issues in terms of engagement and communication to the employees. So that is the findings, and one of the challenges also, 40% employers put that how to deal with the unfairness or unbiasedness. Okay. So in terms of what kind of job and position that is suit to work from home or flexi things. Okay. So in terms of process, okay, 75% employees had issue in terms of tracking, monitor the employees. So this come with the trust. Yes, so definitely. Without the trust, you cannot implement this FWA, you know, successfully. Yeah? For sure. So of course, technology. Not all companies have superb, high excellence technology, right, in doing business. So this is part of the, I would say, the challenges that the companies are facing. And in relation to that, when you mentioned about the Employment Act that they are made by the government, that's where we, TalentCorp, as a government agency, we help the companies how to implement this FWA, okay, including work from home policy. Right. So how we do this? Of course, we have this FWA readiness assessment. So the company can do the assessment whether you are in the whether you are in moderate or whether you don't have zero knowledge or whether you are there. So from there will be a series of workshop, a boot camp, you know, so that we can have a one-to-one consultation.
More comprehensive.
Okay, so from home. Yes.
So, yeah. I mean, what do you have to say about this? What have you noticed in your line of work, in your industry?
Like Intel,
Yeah, for working from home, what's the response been from employers, employees?
For the employer, normally, on this certain nature of work, they can have a work from home. But some, not like Intel in Penang, they do the flexible hours. They're not saying so. I can see that the productivity is there because they're not stuck in the traffic, and at the same time they can arrange the kids.
Amazing.
So they have to spend time with the children all, but at the same time they can get the salary also. So both of them, I mean, the win-win situation. They can get both.
Yeah. I think that's one of the greatest things that happens with working from home is the ability to be able to spend time with your family.
Yes.
You know, we spend so much time working that we often forget that we don't get to see our kids grow up,
it's a rat race.
Spend time with our parents anymore, and it's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, what I really like about, I guess, I don't know if it's one of the positive outcomes, has been, especially in Malaysia, is that you have people just a lot more informed and sensitive to mental health issues. And I know that's another buzzword that everyone's been throwing around, but to look at it seriously, now when you go to your boss and you talk about mental health, you say that, look, I've got issues at home, I need some time, Everyone's a bit more accommodating.
But actually, on this topic of working from home, we're actually going to have a quick little call with a woman who is a mother and has been working from home as well, Shakira Noordin.
Good.
Thank you for joining us. So tell us a little bit about your experience. How many kids do you have at home? How many were running around while you were working from home?
Yeah, as a mother of 3, one of the advantages of working from home is I get to spend more time with my kids. Since I get to save time from my daily commute, I will be able to pick up the kids early or sometimes on time, usually on time or early from school. And I get to spend time with them after school.
So how much time did you manage to save on your daily commutes?
I think few hours.
Wow, that's fantastic. A lot.
And for you, what I guess what were the biggest positives that you've experienced being able to work in this format, and then maybe some of the challenges that you've had to like overcome?
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges, but it just for me, I would say, but since I've been working from home since pandemic, and I already gotten used to it. I mean, with the kids shouting and that, I'm okay with it already. So far, it doesn't affect my work productivity. Instead, my work performance is getting better since I have a work-life balance.
That's great. And the kids get to have you around, you get to see them grow up. And your children are young, right? How old are they?
5, 4 and 3 years old.
Wow. That's a handful.
What advice would you give to other men and women out there who, are considering starting a business, working, or maybe, adjusting to more flexible working hours?
I think if you want to do it, just go for it. You just need to plan ahead your time. Because for me, I usually wake up at 4 because I need to settle a few things before I send kids to school, and I can do my work easier. Then I will start my work around 8:30 after I send the kids to school. Then I will stop maybe around 3, 4 when I pick up the kids. And I will start again at night usually to settle everything. The most important part for me is I can spend time with kids at least at the evening, so I can bring them to the park and everything.
I can hear them playing.
Tell them we said hello.
Yeah, tell them we say hi. They're on camera. So as I understand, one of your children has Down syndrome as well. So that must have been an added challenge, perhaps? Or how was that?
Yeah, extra time. I need to give extra time because I need to send her to therapy. So thank God I have a understanding boss, so I will get around 2 hours and to stand and pick up.
That's amazing. Yeah, it means so much to have employers who are understanding about these kind of things, because it really, everyone's family dynamic and situation at home is going to be different, and if you don't have someone understanding, then it can be a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
But Shakira, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, for the quick chat.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick...
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We're going to take a quick break, and then we will be back to continue speaking about working from home and the way forward. Welcome back to Women Talk, where we are speaking about working from home and the way forward. So let's talk a little bit more about what we can expect from our employees, from our governments, and what kind of changes we hope to see in the future. So, Puan Zarina, what do you think is going to be the way forward? Are we going to see working from home happening a lot more? Do you think that this is a good idea? Will we see productivity going up?
Of course.
Yes, that's the right answer. That's what we want to hear.
I think it's a government better one's guideline and policies from government for work from homes, so that easy for everyone.
Yes.
And also short run, the government should consider work from now. They should consider work from home.
Yeah.
Because most probably we are already immune with the system work from home.
Yeah. It's a good time to continue the progress, right?
And I heard that one company in Hong Kong, they already implemented 100% work from home.
Wow.
It's a 9JAG companies. It's a
what industry is this?
It's a online based.
Online based.
Yeah, but they already 100% work from home.
I mean, I don't know if I entirely agree with that. I'm not sure if I'm an advocate for everyone needs to work from home and then all businesses can save money. A, it's not possible, I guess, as we've said, for all sectors, but B, it's like some people actually do want to get out of their house, and you do want to. Sometimes sitting with your colleagues in this way and brainstorming is very necessary.
We already spend so much time online, chatting to people online, talking online. Sometimes
I mean, I love my family, but I need to get out. And Mahuran, what about you?
Okay.
What is your wish list?
Yes, my wish list. Okay, in parts of the talent, I would say that as a working mother, as a talent, we should actually make ourselves always relevant, okay? And the policy of the work from homes, and also we have to make sure that to build the trust with your superior. So how you want to build the trust? You have to make sure that you perform your jobs, as per required, and then have a very regular communications to your superior or to supervisor. For the companies, my wish list is actually to have a comprehensive policy of the FWA and also work from home. You can work with us. We are the TalentCorp, the agency of the government, and we will help you how to implement that constructively. Okay, right?
Yeah. And Zarina, for yourself, I mean, on the note of mental health, right? In terms of the individual, so whether you're a boss, an employee, we're all human beings. We all have, families, emotional states, and we all are trying to find that balance. And it is a tricky thing. So what would be your advice on that?
We come back for the flexible hour, so that people can discipline themselves, and then trust from the employer is most important. And furthermore, I think the government should give more incentive to the small, medium company, SME, so that they can start working from home and then release their stress. Because sometimes in office they have a politics office. So they can avoid all this also, communication, all that.
Can I add what Zarina said? Okay, talking about incentive from the governments, that is where there is incentive, call it FWA tax deductions, for the companies who implement this FWA.
So FWA is flexible working,
yes, and,
right?
Yes, work from home is part of it.
Right.
Okay? So you can see that I will say that we can invite all those companies who implement that and submit the application.
So it's something that everyone should look into.
Yeah, so
all companies.
Exactly. So businesses, big or small, whether you're a boss and you're an employee, you're an entrepreneur, you have a team of 5, like everyone can play a role, I think, in thinking about how we can just find more balance in our lives, keep productivity up. We all want successful businesses, we want high efficiency rates, but we can do that in a way that doesn't hurt the people.
Yes.
And instead, we're happier, and we know happier people make happier employees, better business outcomes.
So make sure that you learn about what is happening with government initiatives and what things that you can suggest to your companies about doing like these tax deductibles, and hopefully we can all find that work-home life balance. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and thank you to our 2 fantastic guests.
Thank you. Thanks, ladies. See ya.